Good evening, gentlemen. Unfortunately, the H11 is hiding in the other room while I reorganize my little workshop thing here. But I got another Qbus card that I wanted to talk about a little bit, and I wanted to respond to a comment that was left on YouTube by Greg GV8, but I'll do that in a second. Now, before we get going, it is, of course, necessary for me to show the Discord channel. If you want to join the Discord channel, there's a link down there in the thing where links can be placed. And please remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, that all of my posts on YouTube are delayed by 1 week. Also down there, you can find a list of Alt-Tech video sharing sites where you can get my high quality content immediately. So if you're interested in that, please consider supporting Alt-Tech. All right, let's go. This SASI card, this is the hard drive controller that we were talking about in the last H11 video. Briefly, if you haven't watched that video, this is a SASI card, SASI. It's a predecessor to SCSI, and it works with the SCSI to SD. That's a modern solution for using an SD card in place of a physical hard drive. A mechanical hard drive in place of a mechanical hard drive. So much more reliable. All those mechanical hard drives from that era are starting to fail these days. But the problem is this card only supports 256 byte sectors, and the SCSI to SD can be set to operate with 256 byte sectors, but the Linux kernel file system driver only supports file systems with a sector size that's a multiple of 512 bytes. So that means there's no way that I can natively mount file systems created by this card on Linux. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, Lee, I mean, Linux doesn't support RT11 and RSX11 file systems anyway. I don't know if you can mount 211 BSD file systems under Linux or not with kernel drivers. But regardless, there's this thing called Fuse, the file system in user space, where you provide a user space driver to interpret the file system and feed shit to the kernel. So using Fuse with an appropriate driver that would probably be fairly easy to write for these old file systems, and somebody has probably already written Fuse drivers for all of the file systems that we'd ever need to mess with. So using that, we'd theoretically be able to mount these PDP-11 partitions on this micro SD card that'll be running on the SCSI to SD. The problem is those 256 byte sector sizes. So let me read this comment that Greg GV8 left and then respond to it. She says, for SASI storage, there's a way to work with 512 byte blocks. The TI-994 and the 4A used 256 byte blocks for storing data on floppies. So somebody made a compact flash storage solution for these computers. He set it up to use 512 byte blocks, but only used half the space in them. That is exactly what the SCSI to SD does when you change the block size to something other than something lower than 512 bytes. So let's continue. On the computer side of things, it presented data in 256 byte chunks, which would work with that thing. It's aided by some other. He's talking about TIs here, which is cool info. I'm not brushing it off or anything. This is a pretty sweet comment. It just isn't particularly relevant to the details of fucking with the H11 and this particular SASI card. So so it sounds like your thing that you're talking about works exactly the same way as the SCSI to SD does when you use a block size smaller than 512 bytes. It just uses half of the 512 byte block. I still wouldn't be able to natively mount the file systems through Fuse in Linux and copy files on and off of them, which is my which is my goal. I think that'll make things a whole lot easier if I can figure out how to do that. There were SCSI cards, like actual honest-to-God SCSI cards for Qbus, that do support 512 byte sector sizes, but they are extremely expensive. Maybe one of these days one will pop up on eBay for a reasonable price, but the ones that are listed there right now are like stupid money. So instead, I got this thing. Now this is a 10 megabit Ethernet card, although I'm sure in a PDP-11 it probably never approaches anywhere near 10 megabits throughput. This pin header here is an AUI port, basically. It's supposed to go to a cabinet kit that mounts in the back of a back of microvacs, I think, but these do work in Qbus PDP-11s as well as Qbus microvacs. The cabling for the panel kit is just straight through to a DB15 connector, so I can make one of those myself. The specifications are all in the documentation for this card. So to get this working, I'll have to make an adapter to go to a DB15 connector, and then I'll have to put an AUI to 10 base T transceiver on that. This card should work in all of the major operating systems. I don't know if it works in RT11 or not. I know it works in RSX11, and it should work in 211 BSD. So if I can get networking going, especially in 211 BSD, then I can probably get NFS running and copy stuff to the funky 256 byte file system that way. Maybe it'll be pretty slow, but it's still better than nothing. And in the meantime, I will keep my eye out for a Qbus SCSI card. But anyway, that's the H11 update and the response to Mr. Greg GV8's comment. And I don't know if you guys have any better ideas. I'd love to hear them. I don't think it would be possible to write my own fuse driver to convert between sector sizes on the fly. I don't think that would work, but I'm probably not familiar enough with writing fuse drivers to know for sure. So maybe that's a possibility. I don't think it is, but maybe. Anyway, that's it for the H11 update. I'm going to get back to my reorganization of the place, and I will talk to you later. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.